watched one of the videos and he was talking all of that too.
Okay, lesson 3, fractions. So here we go. So we learned this already with integers. I don't really like subtracting, so I'm going to do add. And if I change it to add, instead of negative, that's positive. Okay? So I never do subtraction. I always think add whatever's the opposite. So in this case, instead of subtracting a negative, I add a positive. Okay, and then we talked about this already at the beginning of the year. To put fractions together with the add or subtract, we need a common denominator. So when we're picking this, it always has to be the lowest common multiple. So that's a 10, yeah. So something out of 10 plus something out of 10. Okay, so you should say, well, what did I do? So this fraction went from 5 to 10. So what did we do to change that? Multiplied by 2. So if we do that to the bottom, we better do that to the top. Okay, that keeps things the same. If you do something the same to the top and the bottom, it actually just stays as the same number. Do nothing to that one. Okay, I think that we'll be looking at a lot of reducing as well. You might see that. So if you want to reduce, you can say, what can I divide by at the most?
2.
5, divide by 5. And so that's a 1, and that's a 2.
What am I doing?
Okay, I'm seeing that we're going to go down to B. Okay, so we're already adding, so that's good. We're going to make these numbers, so this is called a mixed. So what the deal is with a mixed is that you have the whole part and a fraction part. So we're going to call the new thing we're going to do called improper. Okay, so if we have 3 entire pies with 3 pieces, what are we at right now? 9, and then 2 more extras, 11. If we have a whole pie with 4 slices, we're at 4 slices, and then 3 more extras, 7.
But it's 9.
Yep, so I just put a negative on that 7. Okay, so now we're at the lowest common multiple, common bottom here. So between a 3 and a 4, what number are you thinking?
12.
12 is a good number with them both. So I would have to times this by a 4. So you can do 11 by 4 in your head, right? That's still okay, math, 44. And to turn this into a 12, timesing by 3. So these numbers are opposite of each other, so their values should get added together or subtracted. Subtracted, so 23 is the difference between them. What kind of 23 would you like that to be, a plus or a minus?
Positive.
Positive. Okay, so this would be an answer if it was improper. Should we also try to do it as a mixed? How many times can you fit 12 into 23 fully? Once. And then how many extras would you have after 12? 11. Okay, C. We're going to change mixed into improper. 2 entire pies with 4 pieces. 8. 3 extra. 11. I don't like subtracting. I'm going to go add and then change the sign. Add whatever's opposite. So if yours is negative, then now it's positive. What would you like to pick as a bottom? 4 would be the lowest. So if you had picked 8, it's not going to be wrong. It'll just be reducible later. Okay, so do nothing to 11 and times by 2. So I'm getting 13 over 4. Or, so how many times can we get the 4 to go into a 13? 3. So that gets you up to the 12 pieces. So now I need one more, right? Okay, it looks like we have one more add. Okay, so 3 entire pies with 2 pieces. We got 6. Extra 1, 7. 1 pie with 10 pieces is your 10 plus 9 more. Common bottom 10. So you're timesing that by 5, you said? So negative, we can't forget about that negative sign, so is that negative 35? Okay, so these numbers on the top, one's negative and one's positive, so what should we do with their digits? Find their sum or their difference? Their difference, so that is how much difference between them? 16, should that be a positive or a negative amount? Negative, because I had more negative values than positive. We can reduce this before mixing it as well, because I can see both numbers would divide by 2. And then you can also do this as a mix. Negative 1, and then after the 1 of 5, there's 3 more to the 8. Yep. Okay, timesing. When you times, please just say right away, is my answer positive or negative? Okay, negative answer. You always just keep the top together, keep the bottom together. So the top 3 times 2, 6, 4 times 12, or ahead of myself, 4 times 3, 12, you didn't hear that? Negative.
You can reduce that.
Or, what are we're dividing by 6? Is that what we want to do? Okay, I want to show you negative a half. This is the same thing. I don't care how you write it. Me saying negative a half or me saying negative 1 divided by 2, those are the same thing. Okay? So if yours looks like this or like this, I'm okay either way. All right? Okay, question F. I said the first thing we should look at is what is our answer? Positive or negative? Negative note to myself. Okay. So we've learned that dividing by something, we're going to times and reciprocate. Negative 1, and you said 7/8. Okay, 8 goes into there once, and after 8, there's 7 more to make 15. Okay, please don't ever make this mistake. I'm still getting my grade 11s and 12s making the mistake of they're flipping the first fraction. The first fraction is never the one that gets flipped. Second one, because dividing by becomes times by, okay? It's like a verb in English, right? The verb is the one that's the doing the thing. That's the one that's changing. Okay, the next one's got all kinds going on. Should we ask positive, negative first? Positive, whatever we get should be positive. So we're going to first of all do the mixed to improper. That's our first step. So times, 1 times 2 plus 1 is 3. We're still going to keep this divide because we can't do anything yet. We got to make this move first. 2 times 4, 8. 3 more, 11. What's up? Oh, okay, I see what you did. I'm gonna flip multiply right now though. Are you trying to get a common denominator? You don't need to worry about common denominators on when you're multiplying and dividing. Yeah, I might see what you're doing. I think I kind of know. Were you just like changing the 4 and then they were canceling? Is that what you're thinking? Okay, I'll check it out after. Okay, so on the top, there's a 12 and a 22. So do you notice how I just left my negatives out already? Because I just told myself my answer is positive, so I can just be done with that. Or 6 over 11. Okay, should I let you try H all by yourself? Actually, quick. Here, let's do I together, and then I'll let you do H on your own. What's going on with I? When I have something, bracket something, right beside each other, there's like a secret code in there. That's multiply. So whenever you see something in brackets right beside brackets, that's what's connecting them, is multiply. So this answer should be negative, negative makes positive. Top 2, bottom 30. 2 times 1, 5 times 6.
That can be simplified to 1 over 15.
Boom, that. Okay, and then H, you try it, I'll do it. I won't talk it out. Mixed, flip, multiply, see what you can do. Actually, once you get to the flip multiply, stop. Do your mixed and your flip multiply, and I'm going to show you something different. Did you do your mixed properly? Did you do your flip properly? We're all at the same spot? Okay, so I'm not allowed to have my calculator, and 4 times 17, that might be getting too big. We get those numbers, and then we'll probably be reducing them later. Did you know that I can actually reduce right now? Yes. Yes. Is there something on the top and something on the bottom that you could divide by? You have to divide by the same number. So what number are we going to divide the top by? Probably looking at these digits.
2.
We can divide the top by 4, and we can divide the bottom by 4. I have to do the same thing. If I do something different to the top and bottom, that's completely doing a change on the number. Okay, so if I divide the top by 4, can we change this factor to a 1?
Yes.
And if I divide the bottom by a 4, I can change this 8 to a 2. And now it's already reduced. So instead of doing like a big multiply and then reduce, I actually did a reduction before the big multiply. Have you ever done that? You have? Can we go back and see on question E? Let's check this out. So do you remember on question E, we multiplied and then we reduced? Let's try to reduce and then multiply. If you look at this, is there some value on the top and some value on the bottom that are both divisible by the same thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Divided by 2.
And that. So you could go top divided by 2, bottom divided by 2. So that would be a, if you divide by 2, that's a 1. If you divide by 2, that's a 2. Is there something else? I've kind of boxed it. I could also go top divided by 3, bottom divided by 3. 1, 1. And what do you get left here on the top? What's 1 times negative 1? Negative 1. And what digits are left on the bottom? 2 times 1. And look at that. We got there. So this way was called multiply and then reduce. This way was called reduce and then multiply. Okay? You get to the same place. Often in higher grades, you're going to look more at this technique, right? And then this one's easier without the calculator as well, because then your numbers don't get as big.